So, two points I want to clarify. What better way to distance yourself from a criminal organization that murdered JFK? Partners in crime, but you still killed him. But then you decided to go ahead and use the Kennedy playbook in telling inconvenient truths to distance yourself from the crimes you're committing, the criminal enterprise you're part of. That's the real irony about that. But what better way to distance yourself from the atrocities of a criminal enterprise, especially when your own personal brand is at stake, than doing what the Kennedys did when they pretended to go after the Klan and pretended to get some semblance of justice for civil rights protesters and activists and investigators and so on and so forth. All token effort bullshit. Raping and killing women. The Kennedys were. Exploiting their own military. McNamara and probably the Kennedys were making money off Vietnam the whole time they're acting like they were trying to get the troops home. Lied about everything to justify not ending the war. So now you got Tucker and Candace pretending, oh, Charlie Kirk this, Charlie Kirk that. He was murdered by Mossad. They're a part of it. Who made Candace Owen? Ben Shapiro. Oh, but they're fighting. No, they're pretending to fight. And here Tucker is grooming everybody for J.D. Vance. Trump's grooming everybody with this unhinged crap he's pulling so that J.D. Vance can look like a hero when he enacts, if he does the 25th Amendment and removes Trump. And they'll pretend to fight. Trump will, oh, that son of a bitch, da-da-da-da-da. And Vance will be like, oh, he's crazy, he's nuts, he's got to go. That's how they distance themselves. But Trump's in on it, just like he was in on Butler. These people are all owned by BlackRock, who brought us Butler, who brought us Diddy, who brought us... BlackRock owns MGM, who owns The Apprentice. Isn't BlackRock Jamie Dimon, and he tied to Epstein too? Plus, they own most of the military industries, Raytheon, and so on and so forth. Hillary and Trump have been pretending to fight all this time. All that's theatrics. As far as why are the European leaders going along with the U.S. fuckery? Because British police and their national investigators want the rest of the Epstein files. They've made it very public. We want the rest of the Epstein files. We want to nail Prince Andrew and Starmer and Mandelson. But they're part of probably the European Union and Interpol. So it wouldn't just be the 3 Brits who go down. It'll probably be a whole lot more from other countries who go down too. So what the U.S. is doing, and Blondie and now Mark Wayne Mullins and Trump, they released just enough to get all those bastards in some serious shit. But Starmer's still a leader, and, nobody's really gone to jail. And the royal family's just pretending to want the police to be able to do their job. So Blondie and DOJ and Patel are not releasing the Epstein files, basically they're signaling, you go along with us on this Iran shit. And remember, they're all owned by Netanyahu. You go along with Trump's boy, Netanyahu, or we will send the British investigators and Interpol the rest of the Epstein files. They're holding it over their head. They released the first batch. Well, that got Trump in some shit too, but Trump doesn't acknowledge that. The whole administration still thinks, Trump gets up there and tells everybody, my numbers are higher than ever. We're winning. He's not even accepting the fact that his polls are in the toilet. They live in their own little rapist fantasy land. They're not living in reality. He thinks he can just pardon everybody and just end every I mean, look at Blondie trying to tell the states that if you want to do any ethics, if your bar associations want to do any investigations into DOJ attorneys or attorneys contracted with DOJ, you have to let us handle it. Are you fucking kidding me? They really think they're going to control the every investigation into them and control all the evidence into them, including my ex-boyfriend, Chad Cronin, who taught me that Brady violations is all about controlling the evidence, which is what they're trying like hell to do. And I'm sure that many of the New York and Vermont agencies are letting them think that they are in control when they're not. Just like I let Burl and Caton and all of them think I was going along with their bullshit. But once I realized they used a bioweapon, okay, it's not safe to let them think that they've got things under control, because now they've unleashed a bioweapon in the goddamn fucking preschool. Murdered Michaela Raines. But my point is, they do this shit when they think they're getting over. And even when you tell them they're not getting over. Oh, well, but we're in control of any investigation you might want to launch. They're not afraid of any bad information getting out, because they think they're going to control all the investigations. So when they released the part of the Epstein files that they did, they weren't worried about shit happening. They did it because they knew it would give them leverage over everybody in Europe. When they withheld the rest of the file, got them under investigation, but then they're not releasing the rest of the files so that Interpol and Scotland Yard and whoever else can go after them. They don't have no jurisdiction over Trump. I think most of his business is done in Russia and Qatar and the Saudis. They're already in bed with Netanyahu. He ain't worried about shit. Now, not Putin, I don't think. Putin don't share a criminal defense attorney with Jeffrey Epstein. That's not Netanyahu. So, Candace and Tucker have everybody convinced that they're really earnestly investigating Charlie Kirk's murder. No, they're investigating themselves. And telling enough truths to make it look like they're not actually working with Blondie and Byron Nome and Christy Nome and Patel and Keg's breath. Now y'all see what the Epstein files were about. In their mind, and they've already got a plan to replace Trump with J.D. Vance. They see you guys, they see that the Democrats, and specifically independents and progressives, are going to take over the House and the Senate. Oh shit, that means J.D. Vance is going to be impeached right along with everybody else. Oh shit, what can we do? Create a crisis. Trump's got to go off the rails so J.D. can... Same thing they did when Trump ran against Clinton in 2016. It was a win-win situation. They were going to keep the country divided, get Hillary installed to cover Trump's and everybody else's ass. And it worked. She won the popular vote, but she got lazy and lost the Rust Belt because she didn't campaign, and Trump won. And okay, so now they got to keep up the theatrics, but he's still an Epstein ally who's going to make sure that all of their asses are covered. Well, now he's just doing, now him and J.D. Vance are going to do it. Him and J.D. are going to pretend to hate each other's guts to win J.D. Vance points. Remember, anybody who gets endorsed by Trump is the kiss of death. J.D. is going to have to pick a fight. He's going to have to look like he's completely at odds with Trump to get any kind of support. Matter of fact, that'll give him even more points. And Trump wins. Trump, he's an actor. All those theatrics don't bother him. He's making money hand over fist. And by doing his theatrics, looking like the bad guy, the crazy dude that gets J.D. Vance installed, it gives him a good chance at being... Biden was Reagan's 11th term. Trump is Reagan's 12th term. Vance will be Reagan's 13th term. Everybody wins. And with Trump looking as bad as he is, he's dying. He don't give a shit. One last Oscar-winning or Oscar-worthy performance, I should say. Remember, real genius doesn't give a fuck if it's recognized. I don't give a fuck if anybody recognizes me as a genius. I don't give two shits. I only mention it when I have to report somebody for something and let them know that they're calling me. They know I was invited to join the men's association, but I really don't give a shit about all that. I'm not saying Trump's a genius. You can do sophisticated, otherwise genius shit without being a genius. With Tucker and Candace using their acting skills to pretend that they're not a part of the criminal enterprise, Mossad, Epstein allied, not to hang you, Ben Shapiro allied criminal enterprise that got Charlie Kirk killed. I mean, Erica Kirk, CIA, so's Tucker. They're on the same team. But they don't want nobody to know that. So what's Tucker got to do? He's got to make it look like he's investigating. And so does Candace. And how has she benefited? She's #1 podcaster in the world. So they're benefiting their own personal brands. They're killing a whole lot of birds with one stone. And hopefully keeping an Epstein allied Mossad asset in the White House. Even if, I mean, so the Democrats kill the midterms and they take over the House and the Senate. Gonna have to impeach J.D. Vance somehow. But see, J.D. Vance ain't thinking like that. J.D. Vance, all he hears is anti-Trump, Trump, 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 Trump did this, Trump did that, Trump did this, Trump did that, out of the Democrats. So if Trump does his crazy act and then Vance pretends to enact the 25th, when it's all just theater, it's not real, it's performative, then J.D. Vance thinks he's going to win the support of all of the Democrats. Just like Democrats and independents think that Tucker and Candace are heroes. No, it's all theatrics. They're capturing you. They're doing the same thing Jimmy Dore and Tim Dillon did. They captured the right, so now Tucker and Candace and JD are doing what they can to capture the left.